mighty spirit of light that shines through the cosmos, draw my flame closer in harmony to thee. Lift up my fire from out of the darkness, magnet of fire that is one with the all. Lift up my soul, thou mighty and potent, child of light, turn not away. Draw me in power to melt in thy furnace, one with all things, and all things in one. At peace with God, love, peace, happiness, truth, and faith. Our faith renewed. John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. My belief and understanding is that man was influenced into believing God as being, or an entity that is worldly. By worldly, I mean everywhere at one time, having full power to do its will whenever it pleases. God is not in any true form, nor in the sense of his or her, human and alien. There is no God, but only the consciousness of God, love, peace, happiness, truth, and faith. Genesis 1:4. And God saw the light, and it was good. And God divided the light from darkness. It is at this point we can look at as being the start of creation, maybe by a being, or by evolution, an entity without form, a reaction upon eons of any science, unmeasurable. The powers to be, whether from Earth or interplanetary, have been using the being God for manipulation and not of what God, love, peace, happiness, truth, and faith is. For it was in this first spark, creation or Big Bang, etc., was a consciousness. And it was in this first consciousness that began understanding, and as the universe began realizing consciousness, it creates. And so too did darkness become a consciousness, and it destroys. Thus good and evil bore forth the universe, and once this was, they themselves became the Word. Isaiah 6:13. Planting of the Lord, that they might be glorified. I'm paraphrasing as I will do this entire writing, but it's with this that I came to the understanding that they encompass a lot more. You may know them as elites, gods, powers to be, etc., which have power and dominion over earth and every parts of all the universes. Our universe has a living consciousness. Our planet has a living consciousness. And they all are in us and one living consciousness. John 1:14. And the Word was made flesh, and dwells among us, full of grace and truth. It is in this which gives me belief that my body will wither, but my soul in God, love, peace, happiness, truth, and faith, will live in the light in the heavens above us and eons beyond. John 3:31. He that cometh from above is above all. He that is earthly and speaketh of earth, he that cometh from the heaven is above all. That we can connect with, download and upload to those that will receive the message of love, peace, happiness, truth, and faith of God. I use the Bible as a guidance to life, as I do with many other practices, teachings, writings, etc. Earth was a planetary creation, and the world flourished. The lands, rivers, plants, animals, birds, and man. Survival was the common goal, the common known, to live. Some as individuals and others as groups living for each other. And in this was a consciousness that was unknown. Was the ability to be more upon this world? Man became beings that could realize what they were, and amongst and in the instincts through which they became consciousness of good and evil, unbeknownst. And as the first spark brought forth light, and the divide against darkness, it also brought forth the alter existences. Man knew not of this existence in consciousness, for it was never a thought until it was realized. Genesis 2:16. And the Lord commanded man, saying, Of every tree in the garden thou eat freely, but of the tree of life, knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of. At some point in our evolution, we went from good and evil as an instinct to knowing good and evil as a feeling, a conscious decision. For when the day cometh that ye should eat, to me that is to ask a question. Thereof shall thou surely die. The history of our consciousness to God, love, peace, happiness, truth, and faith, began. It wasn't until later did greedy men corrupt this consciousness and turn it into a being to do in the name of God. And we understand the choice between good and evil, to be corrupted or live in righteousness. Our corrupted flesh to be burnt away, and our beloved souls to live in forgiveness and eternity. This may have been around the first contact of aliens or celestial beings manifesting the idea of a God being and not a God consciousness in love, peace, happiness, truth, and faith. Our creation was pure, and when God, love, peace, happiness, truth, and faith, came into our consciousness, we then knew the power of choice between doing what is good and evil. Once we questioned the existence, we began to understand and see for ourselves what our decisions brought with it. It was then that the body was corrupted and the soul torn from its divinity state. Psalms 1:3. And we, shall be a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth fruit in his seasons. For if we stay seated in only the knowledge of good, which is of God, love, peace, happiness, truth, and faith, his leaves also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth, he shall prosper. O light all-pervading, one with all, and all with one, flow thou to me through the channel, enter thou so I may be free. Make me one with the all-soul, shining from the blackness of night. Free let me be of all space-time, free from the veil of night. I, child of light, command, free from the darkness to thee.